Hello, everyone. This is Yana from Bellatrix Star. Welcome to our beautiful talk. And look at this lady that I'm with. This is Kathy from Divine Debut. Kathy, welcome and hello, my beautiful friend. Could you please tell us a few words about yourself to start with?
Hello, my darling Yana. Yana from Bellatrix Star, my dear friend and co-worker. We have worked together, haven't we? And we've been talking about doing this get together, this chat for a while. I think it's a really good time now. We both felt ready, and we're here to guide the people, right? To guide everyone and give them a little bit of information of what's going on. Bellatrix Star is my best friend on through the internet. We haven't actually met up, have we? Face to face, but we're going to do that very soon. So Yana, thank you for having me, and let's introduce each other. So
I'm a tarot reader and astrologer as well, but in astrology, I'm very new to this area. But I know that you're not that new to astrology, right? Because you have already been in that magic field from time. Am I correct?
yes, you are. Yes, I've been, and that's where the name derives from, a Divine Debut 11. And I keep talking about it, number 11. Which is a portal. It's yes, it is the number of justice, right, in the tarot. And since 2011, my journey started then. Even though I felt very connected from a young age, I think it runs in the family. Between the females, we're very intuitive. I think it's sort of passed down from generation to generation because mum had it very strongly, but I felt it. My awakening, let's say, started around 2011, and that's when I started to study and practice. I started off with tarot, and then I thought there's got to be more to this. I always used to watch the horoscopes, like read the horoscopes when I was growing up and I was single. Always was very exciting for me, you know. Loved it. So I think this was like a physical transition, and we know that through many people go through their awakening when they feel the calling, and the calling usually relates to difficulties. So my awakening has started from 2011, and it's been quite a journey. I absolutely adore astrology. I love tarot, but I love to use both. They're both tools that you can utilize. That's what I was going to say. And I feel that they both work together really well. It's like they support each other. What about you, my darling?
Yes, well, when you're saying just that you started in 2011, and that's why you have chosen this number 11. And I'm also now remembering when I started, and it was also actually, by the way, around this time. My awakening started, yes, just after this year, because that year particular was very important to me. I had my third child, and afterwards I got through horrible divorce. And as you're saying, the awakening nowadays is happening for many, many people. And of course, a lot of people are going through crisis. And that was exactly my case as well this time. Like, how many already? Like 9 years ago. Yes. So it was the time when I wanted to forgive my ex-husband, because I understood that when I was living with that pain, only I was harming myself. And I was suffering, nobody else. And of course, that's why my kids were not happy, like either, because I was not happy. And I started searching for the tools, and I knew always that it's exactly the same, like I was intuitive through my life, through the whole my life. And I knew, and I remember the thing that when I was a child, I always tried to see through the pictures to find out something. And Even my girlfriends those days at school, I remember they asked me questions and I delivered some answers, and I was right. We were laughing about that. So it was not, of course, real, and I had no idea about tarot. But then, yes, 9 years ago, when I started this journey, because when awakening happened, I understood that, yes, I have my intuition and I need to listen to it. Otherwise, like, I'm gone because it will not work in that pain anymore at all. So yeah, and I started from theta healing first, then radical forgiveness, all these tools. Then I found the tarot teacher, and I've learned, and she found me very good at this, and it was really like a very fast journey since then, because I started having dreams that were true in some time, and all these things, so it's really like when you're saying now, I'm imagining that, but I really want to mention that probably we'll talk about it later, the astrology, because you're double Virgo and I'm
Yes.
double Scorpio. But I have still a couple of planets. My Jupiter and Saturn is sitting also in Virgo, and I have MC with North Node and Jupiter in conjunction, all 3 points in Virgo. And I remember, like your Sun and other planets that you have ascendant as well are also placing on my planets. That's
Yes.
why I think that first when we met, it was kind of, okay, I know her, I trust her, and I can tell her whatever I think, I feel, and I will be safe with you. So remember, yeah, that was the
Oh,
time when I was, yeah, it was a couple of years ago, already 5 or something years
oh,
ago.
yeah, it's a few years back now. And I remember when we first met, because obviously I think I had started before you the channel. It doesn't mean just
Yes.
because someone's practicing tarot or learning astrology doesn't mean that they've also got a channel. So
Yeah, yeah.
I had so many subscribers already. And that's when we met. And when I first saw you, I felt an instant familiarity, and your name being Yana, because I had a best friend called Yana, and you just we just hit it off straight away. Remember, we actually spoke about it, and
Yeah.
well, we figured it out after that. Yes, astrologically, we are connected, right? Because of
Fated.
all the Virgo that I've got and your North Node. So we're soulmates. And as I said, it's wonderful because we felt this familiarity and like we've known each other forever. And it's so nice. It's so nice to find friends and, be in a community where everyone loves the same thing. They love to learn the astrology. They love tarot. And for me, actually, tarot, how did it start? Well, I was just on the computer one day and I went into one of those automatic, pick a card. And it was, I think they were called astrology answers, just to get, 3 cards. I didn't know anything about tarot. And I read the interpretation. I think it was a couple of months down the track. I received a little tarot deck and I've used it on my channel. It's a very small deck, purple in color. And I thought, oh my God, that's nice, a gift from Astrology Answers. And then I said, okay, how do we use these? And that's how I started. But I think that I was ready because I was seeing a lot of prophetic dreams, a lot of lucid dreams. I'll never, ever forget. This was 2011 going on to 2012, that, lucid dream is like when you think you're asleep, but you're not really, to the point where you can actually take your dream to where you want it. So I actually saw this huge moon. I mean, the whole scene, the whole picture that I could see was a full moon, and it took up the whole picture. I was actually manipulating and controlling my dream. It was like a curtain opening and closing. So I was able to manipulate. As soon as I saw the moon, that full moon, it was so bright. When we've got a full moon in the sky and it's still very new, it hasn't come up much. And it looks huge because from where you're viewing it, it's huge. So that's what I saw. And then the curtain closed and it opened up. I actually opened up the curtain. I'm thinking, okay, show me more, because I know I'm not asleep. And then I was flying above all these trees. All I could see down, it was like I was a bird. It was like I was in the Amazon and I was flying above the trees, like incredible prophetic dreams. I've actually even had Archangel Michael show himself to me. This was an experience that I'll never ever forget. And this is when I realized that my spirit guide was Archangel Michael. Like, he showed up in the darkness. And, you know, when I used to be a little girl and I'd hear some sort of a noise, you know how children always get scared in the dark.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I would pull the blankets on top of my head. That meant I was really scared that the bad person or the bad energy would go away. I actually did that because he just flashed in front of my eyes. I was wide awake. It was total dark. And I just saw him from here up, just a very colorful picture in the dark. And I thought, oh my God, what was that? I covered my head, fully grown woman. I've never felt this since I was a child. 2 weeks down the track, when I was using the romance angel, the picture of the soulmate, I think it shows Archangel Michael there. And I said, oh my God, this was the same person that I saw. And I thought, that's it. It's Archangel Michael and a few more. What about you? Any specific?
Well, yeah, you just, yes. First of all, I want to just add to that story that you mentioned about the tarot deck that you got it.
Yes.
And it's just insane, because I remember how I got my first one. And it's the deck that I used, the messages from the fairies or from the angels, something like that. And it was, you know, it was absolutely like a magic, because I visited one of my friends in Malta. Yes, exactly, like 10 years ago. And she briefly told me, like, oh, I have some cards and I don't know what to do with those. And I said, oh, that's so interesting. And she said, do you know the cards? I said, no, but maybe one day I will know them better and I can like predict the future. And then we were laughing, and this lady, then I understood that she wanted to make a gift, a present to me. So I forgot about that story. But when I came home and I unpacked my baggage and luggage and everything, and then I saw in my bag that tarot deck, or not tarot, actually, this is the oracle deck.
Oracle, yes.
Oracle deck, yeah, the messages from the fairies or something. I was like, oh wow, but how come that this deck in my bag? And then I messaged her and she was laughing, like, that was a gift from me to you. And I was like, oh my God, okay, this is kind of a sign. And then again, for some time later, only when I started learning tarot, I understood that it was absolutely the sign. And then again, I forgot, and now when you were speaking about that, I was like, oh yeah, that's true. I also had the similar story.
Yes.
But considering Archangel Michael that you're saying, that's very, very beautiful, because I also have the connection with them, and I can see them when I'm praying and when I'm asking for the connection. Because I don't know how about others, but in my case, for example, maybe in yours as well, through years, I'm becoming, I'm getting more and more things or knowledge, I must say, from above, because it's kind of coming through the dreams or through just something that I'm just feeling that in my body physically. But I must say, when I started my journey from the very beginning, when I started to search this answer, how to forgive my ex-husband, I remember when I was, there is a play of radical forgiveness. So it's kind of a board game. And when you have the number on the dice, for example, 2, you need to put your like small thing, yes, on this number, and there is a card. And I remember that was a card, and the task was to say that aloud. And on another side of this card, it was, I needed to say that I'm beautiful.
Yes.
And I remember that when I turned it and when I saw I'm beautiful, it started like so easy. Like, and I'm like, and I couldn't say that, and I started crying. So how low I was at that time. And the teacher, the trainer, the coach, she was like, Yana, what's going on? I said, like, I can't say that. And she said, like, but it's simple words, and like you need to say that. And I said, like, no, I can't. And then somehow through tears, heavy tears, I said that. When I said that, literally I felt something happened in this crown chakra, because it was like, like, and then I felt that it was, and I said that to her, and like, I'm feeling something here. And she said, like, oh, this is awakening. I said, what does it mean? And she said, like, now you're connected to their source.
Yes.
I said, how that's possible? And she said, like, wait, you will see later. It will be developed in the future. And for me, it was like, really? But I was so, like, it was something really magical. It was something strange. It was something unbelievable, because for me, afterwards, when I had something similar, when I felt something through my body, on my skin, something similar, energy that was touching or is touching me, it's absolutely like that I know that someone there, the spirit, the universe, the gods or angels, they are talking to me. And that I'm somehow, yes, have chosen for something. So that's why when I did my first tarot reading for a lady, it was also practicing when I was learning. She was surprised how precise I was, and that was my first actually money that I earned. I didn't even ask for that, but I remember teacher told me, like, Yana, you don't need to do that. You can't read for free, because it's the energy and it can be offended. So it's like, it should be a balance.
Yes.
So it's very interesting how you put it. But tell me, what about astrology?
Yeah.
How come that because I know that you're such a fan of astrology. How come that you entered that area?
I'm a freak of astrology. I absolutely love it. Well, it does tie in, as I was saying before, with the reading the horoscopes, and obviously I believed in the power of the energies, right? Now I'm a double Virgo, and my moon is in Leo. So, but I've got Uranus, I've got Mercury, I've got a stellium of planets in the first house, right? And looking at my chart, maybe one day we could actually study it if we do another chit chat about astrology. Maybe we can study my chart, or just show people examples, because I know that they'd love that. But yes, I always had that intuition, Yana. My friends would say, oh, let's ask Kathy what's going to happen, because, they would be thinking, what's going to happen with that? I wonder. Let's ask Kathy. Why would they want to ask Kathy? Because Kathy would always come up with the correct answer. Kathy's intuition was always around. It's just that I didn't know how to use it. And as I said, I mean, going through the awakening, you start to learn that we've all got abilities. It's just that some of us have matured more with being connected, right? And so I started after tarot, because I needed proof. I needed proof to see that it actually works. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to, because I hate lies. I hate people who use others for money. I don't believe in that. And that's not my first priority, to sell myself. It's more about the knowledge. It's more about being grounded, double Virgo. Well, what do you expect? It's more about acts of service, servicing people. So that was my, let's say, that was my ace of wands. That was the fire that got me started on astrology. First of all, I said, if the tarot works, because I started my channel very soon after 2011. And I thought, okay, let's see if it works. If I get people saying that, yes, it works. I did readings for friends, for siblings, I tested it. And same with astrology. Slowly, I started with astrology as well, not soon after the tarot. And I thought, let me see. I'm self-taught, Yana, even though I've watched many, I've studied it. Like, I've been from the morning till very late at night. All I did was eat, sleep, and study astrology and tarot. Yes, I'm self-taught, and I don't feel that I need to go, even with the tarot. It's all about being intuitive and seeing what you feel. What is that message that's coming through you? Because we're connected, right? So we're receiving the messages. We have to say what we feel. Even if we're talking about a certain card in tarot, there's so many meanings to a certain card. You're going to read the card in this way, I'm going to read it in another way. And everyone has their own style. And that's how we mature and grow, through experience, through the love and through the passion of something that is very, what can I say? It's just so intelligent. It's like a language. Astrology is a language that you don't stop ever being a student. And we've watched it, I'm sure you have as well. We've got some beloved astrologers out there that we've done work for, and that we've followed. Okay, there's a few out there, and we give praise to all of them. We might get into that too in another meeting, let's say. But yeah, that's what it is. We never stop learning. There's so much to learn. And don't forget that I'm Greek. I was born in Greece. Okay, astrology was born in Greece, my opinion. There are some other opinions as well. I'm not going to say that the whole only Greece has learned this science, has discovered this language. There are other nations as well, but because astrology, even if you look at the word astro, it's in Greek, it's called star. So astrology is very similar to astronomy. They're cousins. These are sciences that are very, very old. And coming to Greece as well, coming closer to Mount Olympus, of course, the 12 gods. Let's not forget the 12 gods of Olympus. All the planets have got names from the gods, and that's why I love mythology as well. And a lot of people that follow my channel, they also agree and they love to learn it. So, yeah, that's what astrology is for me. It's my passion. And not only that, but also helping people that are needing the support and the guidance, especially the way things are from 2020, from the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
That's why I've started to do more. I've started to upload more often. And it's just been really, really busy because people really need the guidance now. And the beautiful words that I receive, the friendships that I've made, the people that I've, become friends with all over the world, for me, that is enough. It truly is. I'm very, very honored to be in this position. I never thought that I could ever do this. So as soon as I knew that it does work, I said, okay, that's it. Because I gave it a bit of a trial, like maybe even 6 months, Divine Debut 11. I trialed it for 6 months and thought, okay, when I get the proof that I'm on the right track, I will continue. If not, I give up. I don't like fake and I don't like phonies. So that's my story. Yana, what about you?
That's amazing. That's amazing that you are mentioning this is considering the acts of services, that you're doing not just, it's not just the work or the job, it's the service, it's something more. Because also what I've noticed from my clients and from people who are loyal to my channel and to me, it's a new one. My channel is not that big yet. And also now a bit struggling with this views and because of the YouTube thing. Yes. I don't know what's the reason, but okay. It doesn't matter now because I still have my people over there and I'm so blessed having them. And you are absolutely right saying that about your clients, because, when I see that I can help and I can guide just at least one of them, but I know that I have many more people who are, listening to me, who are finding me as a tool for their guidance, because I can give the piece of advice, I can guide, I can show the way. but the person, him or herself, they need to find, is that what they need? And they need to do things. They need to act by themselves, not just listening. Oh, Yana said so it's true or something. Okay, let's go there. Of course, there are predictions. Of course, there are things that are kind of a fun to know in advance, because it's kind of, you are having the weapon how to navigate later on during the event, having this situation, or being in the relationships, of course. But also I like, when I work with tarot and astrology together, that's why I'm in love with the decks of Ciro Marchetti, because he is combining these two.
I've noticed.
Religion, something. Yeah. And the pictures, the images themselves, they are, wow, fascinating for me.
Yes.
I'm an artist myself, so that's why I'm like, wow, that's amazing. It's something to my heart, You're
not only an artist, Yana, you are so many things. I mean, you are so multifaceted. You are such an intelligent woman. I don't know what's going to win you at the end of the day. Right now, I feel that you're more towards the psychic and astrology, and you love it. That's why
coaching. Yes, exactly. Thank you, darling. I'm also coaching, because I've also noticed that I started coaching through cards, but still I use like art therapy, body oriented therapy, dancing therapy, but started with the cards, because the cards are not just only the tarot and only to predict if they love you or not. It's also about kind of digging deeper to another layer of you, of the psychic, of you, psychological thing that is really happening. It's like sometimes you can't see what's really going on. You are in the situation with the cards. And for example, with me, people can see it's from a side, like kind of stepping inside and see, okay, actually it's about this and that and that. And you can use any other tool to say exactly the same thing. Yes. In groupies or in psychology, in tarot, in other like tools, use other tools that we already mentioned. But you know what, mentioning this, or having said, considering this combination of tarot and astrology, I really love the way how you read, because when I'm watching your readings and when you did the readings for me, all the time you're mentioning, for example, you see the card and probably it's the moon, and it is like they're mentioning the Pisces symbol, but you are mentioning also Cancer, because this is the moon and the ruler of the Cancer. And then you are also kind of, collecting or gathering something from astrology, kind of taking from the shelf of the astrology, putting into this card as well, and giving your interpretation, following your intuition. It's kind of this complexity. At the same time, it's so interesting and so kind of digging deeper. So for me, it's absolutely divine and it's absolutely magnificent. So why are you combining that? Is it like easier for you, or you just read it that way because you just know that, or how
I didn't start off like that, obviously. The more you practice something, and God knows I've practiced, the more you practice, the more experienced you become. And many clients have asked me, many followers have asked me if I could do tarot classes and teach them what I know. This comes naturally. I mean, I lose myself, Yana, when I'm reading, even if it's the reading an astrology chart or doing tarot. Like, I'm going to say this because I'm a mother, right, and I have to cook and all that. Don't put the casserole on the stove and come and do a reading, because you're not here. when you're reading, you are not here. You're elsewhere. It's so funny because many times I say, because I work so much, especially like work is my middle name. I'm actually hoping to have a break now in summer. I won't stop the guidance, obviously, but I'm going to sort of take a couple of breathers, because it's just been too much. But yeah, it comes naturally, my darling Yana, and you just let yourself go. It's my intuition. It's as though I'm weaving a web, just like a spider, right? To catch its prey, it weaves the web so it covers all the area. where the fly or the insect that it's going to, you know, have it can't get away. You're covering every base. This is perfection. Again, Virgo comes into this. Yeah. And that just sort of came naturally to me, and I've seen myself mature and grow through this. And many times I've had conversations with people where they say, you know, there's a lot of tarot readers out there that all they do is read tarot, like they put 10 cards down and they give you their answer. They can read 10 cards in a matter of 15, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, right? I don't think that I'm covered like that. Okay, someone's going to say they're reading it intuitively. That's the message they're getting, but I need to tune in. And when I'm tuning in, I have to cover all bases. And I feel that, yes, I have to include what's going on astrologically, because the magician, right? I'm the magician. The magician is Gemini, Virgo. I'm a Virgo, so I'm part of the magic, let's say. As above, so below. Whatever's going on up there in the collective is affecting our lives down here. And that's what everyone's figured out, since whoever is around me, and when we drink coffee together, our friends, our relatives, they know that I'm passionate, and I love to explain to them. I want them to know the truth. And sometimes maybe I get carried away, just like I am now, but that's what it is for me. I mean, that's what I love. So.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. But let's talk a little bit about their reality, what's really going on nowadays, especially this pandemic that we are going still through. And 2020, we had really interesting, I really love to say in that way, put it that way, because not to scare anybody. I mean, like, everybody has their own issues and fears that came up, and they needed to deal with that. But I'm still, you know, all the time I'm trying to find something positive in everything that is happening.
Same.
Because this is how the happiness in life is entering, because otherwise you really can be stuck in depression or in something really, really low energy. So I don't want this. And, astrologically wise, now we are still going through some bumpy things. So it's not over yet fully, but I know that there are a lot of countries that are not suffered so much from the pandemic. And especially, like, considering my country, where I'm now, I'm in Moscow in Russia, and it's kind of really free here, that sometimes we really forget that what's going on, and only like watching the news, remembering, and or sometimes you ask to put the mask when you're in the shop or in the beauty salon or whatever. But in general, you know, like what I'm feeling here, that people are so tired of being afraid, of being frightened all the time by the news, by the media. And but I know there were some eclipses, really tough ones, and of course the conjunctions that we know about of big social planets last year. But let's talk about what's going on right now, because right now this eclipse that is coming 10th of June, that will be happening that is happening at 19 degrees of Gemini and ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde at the same time, squaring Neptune, but the eclipse is in trine with Saturn, that is squaring to Uranus. So there's a lot of complexity at the same time that is going on right now. And I know that a lot of people are really freaking out, like, what's going on? Why I'm feeling bad? Why I'm feeling low? But particularly these days, because still the energy is intense. Could you please give us a little bit more from your vision, what's really going on, considering this eclipse in Gemini?
I've spoken to, like, on many of my videos and on Patreon, those that are with me on Patreon, we do go into very deep, a very deep description of what's going on generally. But yes, these two eclipses that we've we're in between. Actually, today is the 8th when we're recording this, so the eclipse is a couple of days ahead, but we're in the energies, right? That full moon, the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and right across from that is Gemini, where we're going to have the new moon. So we know that with lunar eclipses and full moons, there's always endings, and it's relating to Sagittarian energy. So what is Sagittarius? It's our beliefs, it's our religion, it's long distance travel, it's any conditioning from the past, right? It's our beliefs. So as we've been growing up, obviously, what we learn from our parents, and that's where the South Node is, right? Which is what we need to release. So this full moon eclipse on the 26th of May in Sagittarius says that we need to release. We need to release old ways of thinking, anything to do with. Don't forget that Sagittarius is also, it's ruled by Jupiter, which Jupiter is now in Pisces, and it's in its rulership. So that's very helpful. The next couple of months will be helpful. Thank God, with all difficult aspects or configurations happening astrologically, there's always the positive. So let's not be only in the negative energies. And no, we need to believe that there's always divine help. So something has ended, obviously, in Sagittarian subjects, let's say. Something has completed there. Now, this new moon, the solar eclipse in Gemini, which again, Mercury is there. And I remember with that great conjunction, beginning of 2020, Yana, Mercury was retrograding in Pisces, right? And now Mercury is in Gemini, and it's squaring over to Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is in its rulership, so it's very strong. But what is Neptune? Is it spiritual? Is it divine? Is it illusion? Is it the ability to create? Is it that we need to believe that we are all one? This new moon solar eclipse, which is an amplified new moon. So everyone out there, don't forget to make your wishes, especially when you're able to see the new moon, right? In the sky. Send your wishes out to spirit. It's in Gemini. It's happening in Gemini. And because Mercury rules Gemini, and it's in the next, right on the eclipse, and it's squaring over to Neptune. So I feel that it's sort of relating, even though all the astrologers are saying as well that these eclipses are sort of pointing back to late November, early December of 2020. But because for me, Mercury was retrograding in Pisces at the beginning of 2020, and now it's in square to the ruler of Pisces and Pisces, it's as though we're revisiting that beginning. I mean, the beginning of 2020, we all knew, those of us that are a little bit already aware, because everyone awakens at their own stage, right? Everyone's not on the same timeline, and a lot of people are awakening. We knew that we would be writing the books, the history books, that something big was coming. Who would have expected that it would have been something such as this? Let's not forget that Pisces is medicines, right? It's a form of taking medicine, right? It's also very psychological, looking at the axis Virgo and Pisces, right? Virgo is the house of health, which Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, which is in the eclipse now, the solar eclipse. So that's our, being practical. It's our physical body, right? Doing things physically, going to the gym, eating well. Pisces right opposite. It's our mental state, our mental health. And that's what's being pressurized at this time through all that fear that you mentioned. Now, what is true and what is not? Those people that listen to me and my readings, I'm always talking about that, always, about, you know, is this pandemic, is it all true, what we've been told? Why is the story changing so many times?
Yes.
Why?
Exactly.
That's a big why. Well, this Gemini new moon is probably going to tell us why. And a lot of things are going to come up. Pisces and Neptune is the media, right? Is it spiritual? What's the plan? Is it the divine leading us? Or is it those that want to pull the wool over our eyes? Those that want us to wear those rose-colored glasses and those masks? In Greece, we've had a 6-month lockdown from November of last year. We've just been released. It's as though we've come out of prison. And it just does not stick. It does not stick. Why do we need to wear a mask when we're walking on the street, and then we go and sit at a cafe and at a restaurant where there's 100 people close together without a mask? And then what? You need, when you want to go to the ladies, you put your mask on because you're walking. It doesn't stick. There is no, this is ludicrousy. It's madness, Yana. So I don't believe a lot of what the media has served us, and there's a lot to be seen. And I always believe that because we've gone through major darkness, the fear has been planted in a lot of people, and that's why there's been a lot of severing. People have got different opinions, right? Gemini, the twins, is it this or is it that? Families, couples, the wife wants to go and, you know, do what she's been told to do. Health measures, I'm not even going to mention it. The husband has got a different opinion. The children are worried. The parents are older. It's just madness. So hopefully with this new moon, things are going to start to come through. And not only that, because of course, Saturn and Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius, and Uranus in Taurus. Uranus, which rules Aquarius. They're squaring again, second time on the 14th now. And then Mars is going to trigger everything. There's just so much right now. The energies are crazy. So what can I say? What do you think is going to happen?
You know, it's like, yes, it's something like a roller coaster right now, personally, for me in my life. And what I have noticed also in many other clients' chats, it's like something really like a bumpy road, because, you know, first thing that I want to mention right now, considering this eclipse that is coming up or that is happening, it depends on what time you're watching us, 10th of June. As you know, the eclipse is this eclipse, solar eclipse, is with North Node very close to it. So it's at 10 degrees of Gemini, and South Node sitting in Sagittarius, as you mentioned. Another point that I would like to say here is like, of course, we need to release a lot of things concerning this Sagittarius topic. At the same time, what I have noticed in my personal life and in lives of other people, that, you know, if you're focusing on something that is connected to the North Node, the area of South Node is fixing by itself, but you don't need to put any effort on that area. I mean, like, it's kind of a release, but the release of energy. So don't focus on that. Don't pay attention too much to that topic. For example, if you really want to relocate and to move to another country, and it is really bothering you right now, and it's kind of I don't know, the idea that you really want to do, and you're really concerned about it, you're obsessed about it, that will not work it that way, never. But if we compare these areas, relocation to a foreign country as something local, Gemini, and you are more focusing like the opposite, to something that is going on around you, your shops, your neighbors, how you work to work, your close environment, the online work or job or whatever. And if you are just really focus your brain more into that, believe me, the topic of relocation will be fixed by itself when the time is right. You will not even need to put any effort into that, because when you really concentrate too much energy into South Node, it will never pay you back, because it will be like, oh my God, what are you doing? Because South Node, as you're saying, is the half of the dragon that is upper body. It should be excreting, not paying attention, not being in the limelight at all, or in the spotlight. So for this, you have the North Node. And the North Node, so this topic is kind of a recommendation. Please focus on that. And that will be the results that you can really literally achieve in your everyday life. Because a North Node is very like a hunger, always hungry for something more and more. And yes, sometimes you can be obsessed, but it's rather be obsessed to North Node area or topic of your life compared to, for example, to South Node. Another thing that I want to mention, considering this particular solar eclipse, that it is the cycle of Saurus eclipses, and this cycle, it is really connected to something that was going on in your life in 2003. So look back what was happening that time, especially considering May, June, or yes, of course, it could really be connected to the whole year, because as you know, eclipses are really influencing the lives of people for much more time, not just a couple of months.
Yes, yes.
But especially for those months like April, May, June of 2003, they really, that can be really a repetition of that topics in your life right now. Of course, it will not be the same because you're a different person. It's like 18 years ago, yes. So probably you were very like a child, yes, a very young one, or maybe it was just different life situation and you were living in a different country. It all matters in your life. So that's why it's like paying attention. Okay, what was happening? For example, for me personally, remember that I finished my university, my first degree in law, and I moved from one city to another, to Moscow. In order to become a lawyer, I started working as a lawyer. And that was really important for me because those days, I remember that eclipse times, it was like kind of very important office that was there for me. And it was really, really important because I like on that stage that was pivotal to my life that time. But you know, as is just recently, the example from the celebrities, I was really fascinating to see. I don't know if you've heard already, but Jennifer Lopez, they officially announced that they are separated with Alex Rodriguez in April or something like that. And I was also surprised to see, that she started seeing Ben Affleck. They were together in 2002 and 3, and they separated in 2003.
Yes,
like yes, and Mercury is retrograde right now.
Yes.
So it's absolutely possible that those topics from that period of your time, of your life, can absolutely work in some way right now during this eclipse. Of course, this eclipse also connected to this lunar eclipse because they're always coming like in pairs or they can be even in 3. But this time, as you're saying, like, yes, of course. And, you know, I really like how eclipses are working because South Node is like you need to say goodbye to something, like your old beliefs, especially if they're unhealthy, and to welcoming something amazingly new that is pushing into you. Like you are opening the door, but not yet. It's like 2 of Wands, probably also. Like you're opening the door, but you don't know. It's something new. It's unknown.
It's unfamiliar.
And North Node is something unknown. It's kind of something like I have this visual like a jungle over there that you have no idea what to expect there, and it can be a little bit frightened or something. You know, it's like, wow, it's like, what should I do? And in this case, it's like, don't miss up the opportunity that can come up from the past, especially. Or from the Gemini area. It can be online. Something online can come up as a message, as a news. Yeah, something even from local, like, you know, like for some people even can be you're walking down the street to buy some like grocery or something and you're meeting a soulmate. It can be absolutely possible because South Node with Gemini with Mercury, the ruler, it can be like that. So it's absolutely fascinating how it is working the astrology in our life. But can you give, for example, your example what is going on in your life or in life of your people that you know?
Well, yeah, look, Sagittarius is also, you know, because it's related to religion, and we've seen, I mean, our ideas now have become our religion. Oh, what is it that you believe? Oh, I believe
Yeah.
what I'm told. People are starting to be very obsessed about their beliefs. And I think that that's what this full moon on the 26th of May that just passed in Sagittarius, I think that's what we need to let go of. And remember also that, I mean, long distance travel to fly back to Australia, because I grew up in Australia, I was born in Greece. So I grew up in Sydney, Australia. And to go and visit Australia now, because they're very strict, like to get there, okay, the flight prices are a bit more expensive, but you've got to be in quarantine for about 3 weeks. I'm not sure if it's 3 weeks, but we added up the price, the money that you need to get there, to go and visit now, and it's just impossible. So I've been telling everyone, travel, long distance travel right now, especially when you're going from Greece to Australia, that's a long trip, right?
Yes.
It's just out of bounds, really. And because the nodes will be changing, they will be shifting at the end of the year. So, and not only is you know how I spoke about before about Uranus squaring over to Saturn, second time this year, because the first time they squared was in the beginning of the year. The third time will be at the end of the year. And that's when the nodes are going to shift also. North node in Taurus and South node in Scorpio. And they're obviously Taurus and Scorpio, they're fixed signs. So the eclipses are new and full moons, for those of you that don't know, that happen close to the North and South node. That's why we get eclipses, and eclipses within a fixed axis. So Taurus and Scorpio, fixed earth and fixed water. Those eclipses are going to be even harder. But I want you to think back, or maybe even Google it. Go back to when the nodes were, I mean, going back, right, when they were again in that same position, you'll be reliving those years, okay? It's easy to find, just Google it, the shift of the North and South nodes, and you can get a printout, let's say, of when they were back then in Taurus and Scorpio. But same thing, I mean, look at your own, your natal chart. Those of you that are familiar with your natal chart, you were born with certain planetary positions. Where is your North node facing? Which sign is your North node? That's why when I do readings, I always say, in general readings as well, what's your North node? Because your North node is your fate. Are you facing your North node? It's not easy to grow into your North node because you're coming from your South node, right? South node is comfortable. It's like me being in this room and not getting out there in the world because I'm scared I'm going to get sick or I'm going to get hurt or whatever. This would be my South node. This is what's familiar. In this incarnation, we need to grow into our North node. So where is your North node? We said in
In Virgo.
Virgo, right?
Yeah.
My North
And it's
node is
amazing.
facing Taurus. So just knowing
So
that, everyone, those of you that are familiar with a little bit of astrology, you will know that obviously for me, life is going to be very changeable because I'm going to be having my nodal return, which means the North node transiting node will be conjuncting my natal North node. But that's a little bit progressed. A lot of people will not understand it. Follow us, everyone. Those of you that want to learn a little bit more, press the subscribe button. Okay, press on that notification bell. Give us a like. We're here today. Why are we here today, Yana?
That's amazing. Like when you're saying that, where is your North Node? Because, and you just mentioning that the North is changing the signs very soon, and it will be my axis, my first and my seventh house, the axis of Scorpio and Taurus. And by the way, having North Node in Virgo, now when North Node going through Gemini, it's squaring my North Node. So it's really tough. So that's what I meant actually earlier. So of course, when you know the positioning in your chart, and especially from 15 degrees till 25 degrees of Gemini and all other mutable signs, so Virgo,
Yes.
Sagittarius, and Pisces, you will be definitely affected by this eclipse. If you have Sun, Moon, Rising, yeah, yeah, me too. My MC or another, yeah, Mars or Venus, and especially, of course, if you know your ruler, because that will be absolutely also important. Because, for example, for Scorpio and Aries, the ruler is Mars, and if you have Mars in Gemini, like around 19 degrees, absolutely you will be also like touched by this eclipse. And as you, but then like this, just the beginning, it seems like for me and for all Scorpios, rising, especially in Sun in some point, and Moon, like started from last year when we have this axis. And because then it will be even like in our first seventh house, and it will be a little bit better for you because then it will be trining your planets for Virgos and for all Earth signs.
Earth signs. Give us a break, God. Yeah, but I wanted also to mention that with Jupiter transiting through Pisces, which is a blessing, obviously, Pisces people haven't had it easy at all. And Neptune is their ruler, but because so much has been happening, even from speaking to clients, friends, and so on. So there's blessings coming in for Pisces. This is an indication the next couple of months of the blessings that they will have in the year 2022, right, next year.
Yeah.
But not only, because for all water signs, the trine, right, from Jupiter to both water signs, Scorpio and Pisces and Cancer, they will be blessed as well. But Jupiter is going to ingress back into Aquarius, and because Saturn is transiting through Aquarius, poor Aquarian people haven't had it easy at all.
Absolutely right.
I mean, wherever Jupiter transits, right, it brings blessings, it brings expansion, growth. As I always say, Jupiter can also bring separation as well, because it does rule justice, fairness, and all that. As I've said in one of my videos, Jupiter, which in Greek is Dias, Diazio means divorce. But we also call him Zeus, which means Zevgari is a couple. So he can couple people up, but he can also separate them. That's why, and I forgot to mention before, because on the South Node, we've got Juno there. Juno, the asteroid of commitments, she's been transiting through Sagittarius for a while now, and she's retrograde. So, and with this full moon lunar eclipse having happened, a lot of relationships are going through it's make or break.
Yeah.
And it's very understandable with all the pressure that people have been under. You can imagine. It's like a restart. I feel that there is, the positive here, everyone, is that there is a restart in humanity. We got to the bottom of the barrel. I mean, life got so difficult. If you're looking at world matters, politics, and everything, it's as though we've been pressured. Humanity, where is the age of Aquarius where we're moving into? Remember that great conjunction, Saturn and Jupiter last year, that bright star, which is going to be happening, I think, in air signs for the next couple of 100 years. It was a big deal. And I feel that we're entering slowly the age of Aquarius. And what is Aquarius? Yeah. It's humanity. It's the people. We, the people, need to know that we are part of this. We're part of this, part of the earth, part of life. We're spiritual beings, but we're also, I mean, there's so many layers. I feel that we're living, personally, I feel that we live on different dimensions at the same time, but that's another subject. We'll go into that another time. Yeah. We should make a note of it. Yeah. See if people like this chat, and we can get into more things with new ideas. We'd love to hear your ideas, everyone. Is there something else that you want to hear about? But yes, I do believe that the positive is that people are awakening. You've seen the internet and how money is changing. Money soon will be only through the internet. Work has been only from home through the internet. One thing that makes me happy is that I've been on the internet for years. So I feel a little bit progressed. Maybe it was my time to awaken earlier so that I could guide others. But everyone is slowly awakening. The age of Aquarius is here. We need to believe in the good. The light is going to come back to humanity with the help of divine, because the light always wins over the darkness. What do you think, Yana? Do you agree?
Yes, I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you totally. And also want to mention the last thing is that because when we were talking about the eclipse's energy and this square to Neptune, and that some things that can come up from the early 2020, I mean, that we don't need to be afraid of those things, because, you know, what I've noticed also in life, that the things, if they are coming up, that means that we are ready to deal with them. Yes. That means that they are on the surface and they are asking for our attention. And if we're paying enough attention and dealing with these energies that are coming up the surface, and just, you know, this, it can be fears, it can be doubts, it can be unhealthy beliefs that are holding us back to the past, and we need to be progressed and moving forward to the future. And all these things that can come up in order to show you that, look, you are ready to deal with it. You don't need to be afraid. It's just the time. It's the divine time to deal with it. Another thing that I want also to mention, that when we are dealing with these squares or with this kind of not comfortable energies like this Mercury square to Neptune, when we can feel even like a headache, because this is mental energy plus, you know, a lot of spiritual energy or divine energy that is collapsing because if the person doesn't hear or something else. And in this case, it is absolutely possible to dig deeper into the pluses or into something positive, yes, taking from this energy, not being, you know, not going deep into the low, because Neptune, as you mentioned already, a lot of things, describing Neptune. I'm not going to that, but just remember, there can be the good things and it can be the opposite side of it, the bad things. It's like alcohol, yes, or something like a piece of art. It's the same energy, but how you are dealing with it. You can have a couple glasses of wine or more, or you can create a beautiful masterpiece. It's still because you are in a connection of the divine, of something like spiritual over there. And it's up to you how you will react on that energy or on these squares, trines, or whatever. So it's absolutely, you don't need to forget that every single energy has its downside and has its upside. And it's up to you how you react on whatever is happening in your life, because it can be really bad things. And it doesn't mean that you don't need to, for example, to grieve or to feel angry or to feel frustrated or something. Of course, you have the whole right to do this, but at the same time, don't be stuck into this energy. Remember that it's okay for some time to be like laying down, crying, cleansing yourself from inside with tears, releasing. But then it's absolutely fine to find the happiness in your world, in your everyday routine life, to find small things and to enjoy them. This is how life is. It's like, remember now, I'm remembering the movie, the Soul. If you have watched it,
I haven't.
Kind of,
I didn't get much time for TV.
Yeah, I watched it with my kids. So That was actually one of the ideas over there when the musician was sitting down there, and another soul was showing that to him, that look how the leaf is flying, look at your neighbors, at your hairdresser, how you were speaking, what you were speaking about, these smiles around this, you're a student who was progressing in their music, etc., etc. So it's a small thing that is absolutely important in our everyday life. So whatever is going on right now in the world, in your country, in your private life, there are things that are worth to pay attention, to focus on, and to just to cherish and to love. Yeah. So this is the last word for me,
That
because
was
I don't
really,
know how much time we're talking.
yeah, I don't know. I've lost the time. I don't know what time we started, but yes, I truly believe that. And I loved your talk about and your advice to people, because they do need to hear that. For me, positivity comes naturally. And I remember that song, who was it by? When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Like, when we don't go through difficulties, we don't move, we get complacent, we get comfortable. And that's why I feel that everyone's awakening is happening on a different timeline. The more challenges life is giving you on your own personal journey, it's for you to awaken. It's for you to get up and do something about it. That's what growth, that's called growth. And I feel that all the community that has gone through challenges or difficulties in life, that's how we start to awaken. That's like spirit nudging us and saying, hello, you've got a certain future here in this world. You need to do this. This is your duty. This is what you need to invest in humanity, to be a speaker, to be a psychologist, whatever your path is. So we need to follow our calling. And one last thing I'm going to leave you with as well is that, think of it this way. Those of you that feel as though there's no tomorrow, it's just too hard to do anything. You've got no money, you've got health issues, there's no support. Don't give up. Do not give up. This is where you need to prove yourself now. Take baby steps, one step at a time. Saturn is challenging you. Saturn wants you, Kronos, right, in mythology, wants you to prove yourself, to prove that you could be the elder, the wiser. Now, not everyone could be very motherly and not everyone could be fatherly, right? Some people were born to be mothers. You always show up as the Empress in my tarot. You're very motherly.
I am, yeah.
I'm motherly in a different way because I'm a double Virgo. A lot of people have told me that, but I've got the teaching side as well. Just to let a lot of people know that I used to teach English to Greek children, so I've always had the teaching. We match with Yana in that. We love teaching. But yeah, they say that the harder this incarnation is, you should be happy because you're doing the work. Next lifetime, next incarnation, because the soul goes through many, many lifetimes, know that it will be easier. Don't we have people that we've seen and we think, oh, they've had it so easy. Why is it so unfair? Why did I get the short end of the stick? Why is it always hard for me, an uphill battle? Why do I need to be that Capricorn with strong knees and have a mountain ahead of me all the time? It's because it's your turn to prove yourself. You're doing the work now, so smile about that because it'll be easier. It will get easier. Don't give up and just follow your calling. Look out for signs and synchronicities. Ask spirit for help. Ask for wish. What is your wish? Ask for it. Otherwise, they won't know. That's all I have to say about that. And I could keep blabbing for another hour, darling.
We will do another time. So if it is enjoyable for people, so please like us and subscribe for both channels. And if you need to have a private reading with me or Kathy, you're welcoming. So so this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. and probably see you next time.
Thank you so much, everyone, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Yes, these are the hands that you get to see always, but I can't be very pretty all the time, so I prefer to show you my hands. No, that's not it. That's not it. For me, I tune in, as a lot of people know, my clients, I tune in when I'm in solitude. I'm the hermit, right, Virgo? So that's how I work better. I'm not very good at talking on the camera. So I don't mind here or there, especially when I've got good company, right? And help as well. But yeah, whoever needs a reading, I've been saying that I want to take a break. So get your orders in as soon as you can, because I'm going to put a hold in a little while because I need to take a breath. Okay, as well. Otherwise, I'm going to suffocate. Okay, we're only human as well. We are godly, we are angelic, but we're also human. So I want to thank you, Yana, for keeping me company and being in my life and being such a beautiful soul. I can't wait to meet you up close and have that glass of wine, right?
Yeah, that will be amazing. Thank you, darling.
Okay, so we're going to share this video on both channels. We'd love to hear your comments. As we said, thank you so much for being here and spending your precious time with us. And we'd love to hear your comments and your ideas about a future video. Hold on tight for this eclipse. For mid-year difficult energies will come out of this. We're just growing stronger. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Love and light to all of you.
Bye-bye.
Namaste. Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.